church today, a beautiful day at your house. Would you come pray? Would you come sing? Won't you join our Hope group? It's Father Forty's neighborhood, a land of church and family love. Won't you come and pray with me?
Come and pray.
It's Father Forty's neighborhood, so much to learn, so much to do. Won't you come and pray with me?
Come and pray.
I've got lots of friends for you to meet. In this Hope group you will see a friendly face for you to see, just waiting to teach you. It's a beautiful day at our church today, a beautiful day at your house. Father Forty's neighborhood.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Hope group today. We have a very special saint that we're going to talk about today, and that is Saint Nicholas, whose feast day is December 6th. Saint Nicholas lived at the very end part of the 3rd century, and he died in the early 4th century, roughly around the year 330. He was born to two very pious parents, Nona and Theophanes, and they were unfortunately unable to have children, but they promised God if he would bless them with a child, that they would dedicate this child to him. So they end up having Saint Nicholas, their only child, whom they did dedicate to God. Saint Nicholas, from a very young age, loved going to church, he loved praying, he loved hearing spiritual stories, and his uncle was actually the bishop of his local town, the city of Patara in Asia Minor. Saint Nicholas was ordained a priest at the age of 30, and he desired to live a solitary life. He wanted to live as a monk in a monastery. So he went to the Holy Land, and he was told by God there that he needed to return to his hometown. He returned to his hometown, and there he thought, I'm going to enter a monastery close by. So he went to a monastery in Myra in Lycia. And there in Myra in Lycia, he was told by God, if you want to please me, you need to live among the people. So that's what pulled St. Nicholas out of his desire to be a monk and allowed him to live in the world with the people. St. Nicholas was made ultimately the bishop of Myra in Lycia, the city there, and it was a miracle how he was chosen to become the bishop. Because what had happened, the bishop of Myra and Lycia had died, and a council of bishops was gathering together to decide who would be elected to be the next bishop of the city. And one of the bishops had had a vision where he said a brilliantly dressed man, someone in very brightly dressed, so most notably an angel, appeared to the bishop and said to him, you're not going to choose a bishop among the group of bishops yourself. This evening, the first person who will come into church, that person God has selected to become the next bishop of Myra. And of course, who was that man who walked through the doors of the church first that evening? It was none other than Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas had a tremendous love for the people, and he would do anything to help those who are in need. There's so many stories while St. Nicholas was alive that he would help people with some sort of financial need. There's one story in particular where there was a man who had 3 daughters who were unable to marry because they didn't have enough money for the dowry. And in those days, for a girl to get married, the family had to give money to the husband's family, her husband-to-be's family. It was called a dowry. Well, unfortunately, this man had 3 daughters and no money. He was just very poor. And St. Nicholas notably took bags of gold, one by one, as each daughter, it was her time to marry. This man suddenly received gold coins in his window, all through the love and generosity of St. Nicholas. He was a miracle worker while he lived. There's one story where he was traveling on a ship and they came into terrible weather. There was a man who was up at the very top of the ship at the mast, the crow's nest, and he fell all the way down to the deck and he died. St. Nicholas came rushing over him, prayed, and the man was immediately brought back to life. And then St. Nicholas prayed, and immediately the sea began to be calm. So for this reason, St. Nicholas is known as the helper of all those who travel. So we supplicate St. Nicholas, we ask for his help and his intercessions for traveling. We also ask for his help when we are in need of some sort of financial need. We also pray to him when we're sick and we need to be made well by God and through his prayers. St. Nicholas is such a beloved saint throughout the centuries. Now, how does somebody become beloved throughout all these years? Because he's been dead now for 1700 years. It's really because of his love for God while he was alive, and how this love is active and alive even after his death. So he still has concern for his people, and we are his people. In fact, his name, Nicholas, means the victory of the people. Nikolaos, the victory of the people. He is our victory. Of course, Jesus Christ is our victory. But St. Nicholas, because of his love for Christ, God grants victories through his prayers because of his love for God. This is the most beautiful thing. All of us need to find a way to be loving and helpful to people throughout our lives in all that we can do. And we imitate St. Nicholas's love for God by helping others, lending a hand, by even giving financially when we can. All of these things are what God wants us to do. St. Nicholas is always here to hear our prayers and to protect us. And I wish all of you a blessed feast day for St. Nicholas, and all of you who have the name Nicholas or Nicolia or Nicolette or Nico, whatever your name is, Kronjapala, and of course all of us celebrate his feast day because he is truly the victory of the people. God bless you and have a wonderful day. And by the way, he died roughly around the year 330. I don't know if I mentioned that.
It's a beautiful day at our church today, a beautiful day at your house. Father Fonty's neighborhood.